Governor Newsom's special session is underway, and today a key vote could change the way oil companies operate in California. California's Utilities, Energy, and Communications Committee is pushing for penalties on oil companies that are caught price gouging.
And it now heads to the Senate Appropriations Committee for another vote this morning, and it could end up on the governor's desk as early as next week. ABC 10's Bridget Biorlo joining us live from the state capitol where that vote will be held. So, Bridget, what does the proposal aim to change?
Bria, the change that state lawmakers would like to see is an end to price gouging within the oil industry that some say was to blame over the summer when Californians were paying $2.60 more for gasoline than the national average. Some places they were paying up to $8 for gas. So this proposal aims to add some protections at the pump, some accountability, transparency as well. As you noted, it has already advanced this week, passing by a 13-2 vote yesterday. Now this morning, it heads to the Appropriations Committee for another vote and could land on the governor's desk as early as next week. Governor Gavin Newsom also already expressing support for this bill. And if it becomes law, it would punish refiners who make excessive profits. Penalties collected would go in a price gouging fund and could be sent back to Californians in the form of rebates. But not everyone agrees that the penalties on oil companies will ultimately save money for drivers. Take a listen.
Anytime you increase taxes, you're increasing costs. That's just an economical fact.
The appointees are going to be people who take a close look at the numbers, judge in a reasonable way how much oil refiners should make, and say over a certain line, it shouldn't be.
So supporters of this bill say this oil industry really just needs more regulation, more oversight in general, so we know where the fees associated are going, and so we can hold them more accountable and to stop them from what some say are ripping off drivers in California. But a lot of other people say there's much more at play here in terms of the environmental regulations here that drive prices up. We have to produce a special blend of gasoline, which costs more to produce, and therefore oil companies say they have to charge more. We also have the second highest gas tax in the country at 54 cents a gallon, which Governor Gavin Newsom and his party had the chance to suspend over the summer when gas prices reached its peak, and they decided not to do that, Bria.
And Bridget, speaking of the oil companies, how is the oil industry responding to this proposal?
Well, they don't like it at all. They lobbied against it for several months to no success. It is looking to pass, but they say this is ultimately a tax on them. It's a fee that is ultimately going to be passed down to the consumer in one way or another. It could also impact production because if they have to pay more in the end, they could produce less, which impacts the supply and demand chain. The supply is going to be lower, demand is going to be higher, and that in turn can also drive prices up at the pump. And that is obviously not the goal, but it could be an unintended consequence, Bria.
We'll have to see how everything shakes out. Lawmakers set to meet around 9 today. Bridget, thank you.